Hey guys, everyone, welcome back. This is our new episode of Jetil Podcast, and we're glad to be back as usually. And I guess this is our new season. I hope because we've just ended up shooting episodes for a year and anniversary, I'd say, kind of. So let me introduce our guests as usually. Our second host, Aidos.
Kung Fu Grandmaster.
Kung Fu Grandmaster
Always.
is back.
Yeah.
Always.
I'm still the Grandmaster.
Uh,
How you been, man?
I'm doing great. Thanks, man, for being here with us.
I'm good too, thank you.
Yeah. And our second guest for today, our guest speaker is Dennis.
In the ring
Dennis
across from
Kim.
the Grandmaster.
Yes.
Feeling a little bit intimidated.
Exactly. So,
Hey, happy anniversary.
yeah,
I didn't know
thanks.
it was a special episode.
Yeah,
Thank you.
we
man.
kind of we've been shooting already for a year,
Yeah.
and I think that's a great job, right? I mean, personally, I kind of adore this thing when you
All
track.
this money we put in and time, and you guys still don't
Yeah.
appreciate this shit. All right?
Yeah, you gotta
So keep
you
watching.
gotta watch these episodes, guys, because we're making
Learn.
them for you. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. Welcome, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good to have you here.
Yeah.
How have you been doing, man?
Good. Yeah, it's a busy season for me because mostly work in tourism here. So just doing tours every day,
Yeah.
trying to stay cool in this heat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we're probably going to talk about tourism today specifically
Nice.
because Dennis is doing his own project on Walking Almaty,
Yeah.
if I'm aware of.
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
heard of it.
And
Oh,
I think that's
yours.
a great contribution to our tourism here in Kazakhstan and towards the development of tourism.
At least he did his homework, you know.
Yeah.
Not like other guests, you know, they just come not ready,
Yeah.
you know, blowing up the covers.
Yeah. But no, Dennis is good. I mean,
How long have
and-
you been here for, man? In Almaty?
For 10 years. So
10 years?
10 years of homework.
Well, you said, yeah, oh shit, 10
Yeah.
years of homework. We're doing good. Whoever's behind this, you're good.
exactly.
Wait, you told me you speak Russian and Kazakh
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
You see, like, how did they learn, bro?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, elite military training.
You see, that's what I'm talking about.
yeah, no need to cover up, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, bro, like you've been staying here for 10 years and then you learned Kazakh, Russian. You just told me that your Russian is pretty good
Yeah.
and then you're Kazakh. Are you still in the process of learning Kazakh or you think you already have?
Well, so at this point, I'm teaching Kazakh.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow, man.
So every
Nice.
year in the spring, I teach at UCLA and I teach a couple courses. One's kind of history and culture of Kazakhstan, and one is super basic Kazakh language.
You
Whoa.
teach at UCLA?
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm repping UCLA today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just for
No
a
wonder.
second, what is UCLA?
University of California in Los Angeles.
Yes, I've heard about that uni. And if I'm not wrong, if I'm not mistaken, it's one of those prestigious universities in the
It's considered to be one of the best public universities. It's
Yeah.
a great place to work.
Yeah.
The students are fantastic. But the one thing people always ask me is, who's taking your class?
Exactly. That's what I had in my mind. Like,
yeah, why Kazakhstan though? Yeah.
Yeah. So I got hired because UCLA is part of this consortium of American universities that participates in something called Flagship.
Mhm.
You guys ever heard of this?
No.
No.
So the U.S. Department of Defense funds this program. back to the theme of the day.
When I
Alright.
sense something, bro.
They're trying to develop Russian language specialists. Okay, so they fund this program where American college students can go abroad to perfect their Russian.
Mhm.
And before, they used to send them to Moscow and to St. Petersburg. And something like 10 years ago, they started to send them here to Almaty,
Mhm.
to Kazakh National University.
Wow. Alpha, yeah.
That's a new tactic. They said we're gonna come from somewhere else where they don't expect.
Yeah.
So 10 years ago they started, you say, right?
I don't know the exact history of the program, but they've been here for a while. And so UCLA is one of the universities that participates in this. They've got a really strong Russian language
Nice.
program. But then they decided that if they're coming to Kazakhstan, they need to have some context about Kazakh history, Kazakh culture,
Yeah.
have some like just basic Kazakh language, right? So that's what I was hired for.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's impressive, truly.
You know what I
Yes.
noticed? I found some TV series and some movies on Netflix, and they keep showing Kazakhstan for no reason.
There was
Yeah,
that
I've seen it.
Schwarzenegger one.
Yes. Have you
Yeah.
seen it?
Yeah, it did.
They got all the IDs and
Arnold
passports. and all that
Schwarzenegger, right?
shit. Yeah. He's right here getting ready. He's like, oh,
You think it's kind of
and they're saying like native Kazakhs don't eat pork, and like they, man. Sometimes, man, I think I just overthink.
So one time, I'm
kinda
trying to
weird.
remember.
maybe you're not.
Maybe I'm not, because as far as I'm concerned, America never in
Does
American
anything
movies,
just
the
like that,
Hollywood
right?
never puts something in in the frame without like by accident.
Hmm.
Even in the movie Creed, they've been
Yeah.
showing Kazakhstani flag, like flashing our flag
Yeah.
few times, and Borat choosing Kazakhstan. It's too weird, man. Like really, like why would you choose Kazakhstan out of all these countries around? There are more fun countries next to us.
Yeah.
I think it just stands in for something exotic and like vaguely menacing for the American public. So one time I found this database of like Hollywood scripts, and you could search through, imagine like tens of thousands of scripts. And of course, what's the first thing I searched for is Kazakhstan. And so I found like every Hollywood movie that name drops Kazakhstan.
Wow.
So I got the hard daddy here. And it's pretty disheartening, to be honest, because usually it's like some scary place where the terrorists are.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's usually like that.
Yeah.
Even in that TV series also.
Yeah.
Like some terrorists hiding in Aktau, Atrau, they're
Yeah.
going there
Sure.
by train. But the train was too modern for Kazakhstan, because I watched It's Not Our Train.
It wasn't a
Definitely,
target.
no, there was too many space and like too many foreigners on train. It's
Yeah.
not like that. But I was happy that the world get to see that new train
Mhm.
instead of ours. I was like, okay, that's us. Just in case, I won't deny it.
Sure, yeah. I mean, I had the same thing. So you came here 10 years ago. It was 2013?
Yep.
2013. That's when if you were aware of the Boston terrorist attacks happened.
Yeah.
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 And recently,
Oh, that guy's out, right?
yes.
I didn't
Yes,
watch his interview.
Kadirbayev. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
here now. And when you came here, so you had no experience visiting Kazakhstan before, right?
No, there's a story that runs up to this because
Oh,
that was 2013.
Yeah.
That's when I kind of more or less came here permanently.
Uh-huh.
But I came here for the first time in 2005 when I was
Wow.
17 years old.
Yeah, wait, 2005. Why Kazakhstan? In 2005, like.
So it was this exchange program. I was in high
Oh.
school and I was looking for programs abroad,
Mm.
and I was flipping through the catalog, and it said spend a summer in France, spend a summer in Japan,
Yeah.
and then there was this program in Kazakhstan, and I just thought it sounded like an adventure.
yeah.
Who did the marketing? in 2005. Please research that. we gotta find that guy.
Yeah, but I think it's always the thing with, for example, in my case, if I would choose not I'd say like a famous country or popular country, I'd probably just think from the perspective of I'll be the leader there. I'll be one of those who would go there first and like contribute into something, into development of something. So one of those like rare people who go to Kazakhstan and work there, and like you're always like for example, if you go to Japan, you're one of those Americans there, one of thousands of Americans. But here in Kazakhstan, you're just one of.
Yeah, exactly. First of all, Indians and Chinese will always beat you. In that, because wherever you go, you'll find them. But like they're
Yeah.
always there first.
Yeah.
Indians are one of the first students here also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in 2005, man, because if you think about it, like I wouldn't choose Kazakhstan. Like I don't know how do you end up like choosing Kazakhstan. That's
Exactly.
yeah.
I think because I saw this opportunity to go to a place that I knew relatively little about, and that just made me curious to go see
Exactly.
what was there, right? I mean, going back to what we were saying before about like how the general American public knows very little about this
Yeah.
part of the world. I maybe knew a little bit more than your average person because I liked geography. I liked looking at maps. I could find, Astana on a map,
Yeah.
but I knew enough to know how little I knew, and that going there would be a cool experience.
Wow, nice, man.
Yeah.
And then you came back in
That's a brave step.
2013. Right?
Yeah, and in the intermediate period, I studied Russian in college, went to grad school to study Kazakh, and came here after finishing my grad program.
Yeah, as a person who have already visited Kazakhstan, I think you were pretty much prepared for the society and stuff because, well, it wasn't new for you.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yo, 2005 was like really different, bro.
Yeah, I guess.
I think. How old were you? Were you born yet?
98. Yeah, I'm 98.
No, I think about that a lot because I even have my diary from that time, and I go back and I
Whoa.
read that, and I have this photo album that I made, and it really feels like a different place.
It is, bro. It is.
You know, the country has developed a lot, marching towards 2030.
Yeah, early 2000s, bro.
That's,
There were less cars.
yes,
Right?
sure.
They were like, bro, people were trying to get their shit together after the, the collapse. It's been just 10 years and like,
There were marshrutkas.
yeah, there were marshrutkos,
Mhm.
always
Yeah.
full.
Yeah.
And they were
Exactly.
good, in a good condition. But those marshrutkos they still exist.
But
Yeah,
they run between the
Fortunately.
cities.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Some
it's
of
true.
those cars, they still exist.
So then you came back in 2013, and what made you stay so long? Like for 10 years, that's a lot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I just fell in love with Almaty again and started to explore it, and that's when I started Walking Almaty as kind of a blog, just documenting these explorations that I did. Really got interested in the local history and the architecture, and then it's the usual story. I met a Kazakh woman, fell in love.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
That's another
and
story.
that was the reason to stay. Started a family,
Wow.
and now this is my home base.
Cool.
Oh, you're based
So
here now, 10 years. You
Yeah.
got a woman here, you got a family here.
Yeah.
Well, usually like foreigners who got married here, they usually just move out to the U.S. and then take their family on. But what was the trigger like for you? Like,
Didn't she
to
get
stay
angry
here?
at you? Like, yo, like, we're supposed to move. I was the one.
I was
supposed
hoping, right?
to bounce.
I tease her about it all the time because, of course, all her padrushki are like, "Hey, did you get your green card yet? Why aren't you living in LA?" And I'm like, "Dude, you found like the one American guy who is just obsessed with Kazakhstan, and never wants to leave.
That's cool.
Critical mistake."
Yeah. All jokes, but yeah, what
Yeah.
do you think about the the whole? To be honest, I really wanted to visit America for a long time, especially when I was in China and I was studying there and I lived with these American guys. It was so fun and like everything they were telling me and that the shows that we watch. But now it's like each year I'm losing that interest of going and like keep watching this news. I don't know if it's just me or if it's my Twitter feed showing me all the bad and negative news. I don't know. Because it's our podcast is pretty open, so we can like discuss anything.
Yeah.
Right. Especially this agenda on pushing the LGBTQ idea plus. I don't know how to
That makes you uncomfortable?
The alphabet people. No, that does make me uncomfortable. I studied with these guys of the members of this societies.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it feels like there's too much freedom now. Like, people can access anything, and seeing the stores getting robbed for no reason, and they don't get punished for that. They don't go to jail if they steal something below, I don't know how much, 1,000, 1,500, some like this amount. So a lot of robbery, a lot of murder, a lot of this no gun control, and this too much freedom on kids or in schools. Yeah. So like, what do you think of this? Like, you go back to the States, right, from time to time to teach. So when you come back, like, what's the contrast? Like, how do you feel the difference, or what do you think? Like,
I would push back a little bit on that dystopian vision of America. I think a lot of that's kind of sensationalized. I think if you look at the statistics, the crime is actually a lot lower now than it was when I was growing up in the 1990s. I am with you that it can definitely feel there's just a vibe in the air that feels like there's a lot of tension. A lot of that's about politics.
Yeah.
And sometimes it feels like that's something of a relief here where there just is no politics. People here often watch American politics for fun because there's actually, a cage match. There's something going on, here, not as much. And, maybe it feels bad to say, but it just, that simplifies your life when you don't just have these talking heads, like talking about this stuff all the time. But, I love to go back, and I spend several months of the year now back home, and I love American people. I love how easy it is to get along with them. I love the place where I grew up and where I live on the beach in California. I don't have a lot to complain about.
Oh, nice.
So
yeah, in my opinion, it's just like when you're not there and when you're here in Kazakhstan and you watch all those things through a screen,
Yeah,
Of
exactly.
course,
They're
of
like
course,
that.
you're like under this.
It makes me angry because it's like,
'Cause-
I grew up on, everyone, like the whole world grew up on American movies, right?
Yeah.
And the music. So growing up, watching all that stuff, what you want to do is when you grow up, you want to go and visit. I read a bunch of books that I want to go and visit, in America.
Mhm.
And then, of course, I follow a bunch of American news,
Mm.
channels on Twitter and like the celebrities and all that stuff. But these things that keep showing up,
Mhm.
So it's like, man, like what's going on? By the time I get there, it's gonna be,
Maybe
be a shitty experience for me. And I'm
maybe
texting my friends, you
Yeah.
guys good? Why nobody's on Instagram?
Have you ever considered this option that maybe they're doing it for a reason, so that not many immigrants would go to the United
I would
States?
do some shit like that, bro. Like for
Yeah.
Kazakhstan, like just scared. But we're doing the opposite now. We're doing like
Yeah.
look at us.
But a
Yeah.
lot of Kazakhs are immigrating to the States. I hear about them all the time in LA. They're all
Yeah,
they all
my-
have like moving companies and they're truck
Yeah.
drivers
Yeah.
and
A close friend of mine just got his passport
Yeah.
like last month, and he
Wow.
came back here to return his Kazakh passport. He's in Almaty.
got his American
Yeah,
passport.
he's an
Got
American
his
citizen now.
citizenship.
Yeah, his wife is Kazakh, but he's American Kazakh. She was born there.
Okay.
That's cool.
Yeah, they got married. They got a baby.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. So, Dennis, tell us about our project, like you're doing on tourism, like here, Walking Almaty. What is that about? Why did you decide to do such a project? And
So I mean, it's Walking Almaty is really a couple of things because it started out as just this website where I was documenting the city, and I have this thing called the Urban Field Guide where it has like these collections of photos and essays about every little thing that you can see in Almaty, from like the manhole covers on the ground to the way the benches are designed to the air conditioning units on the buildings, all those things that I noticed as an American coming here for the first time that just made me ask questions. Why are the trees painted white? Stuff like
Oh.
that. So I have all this information about that helps you understand the city if you're here for the first time. That's how it started out, as this kind of weird blog. But then I just explored so much of the city that I felt like I really knew my way around. And I noticed that nobody was doing walking tours in the city, but it's a super walkable town.
Yeah. I agree.
Got a lot of stories to tell, so I just started doing them. And I think this is the 7th or 8th summer that I'm doing these tours,
yeah,
and been able to get an audience. And I'm in top of TripAdvisor, I'm in Lonely Planet and the popular guidebooks. And
Whoa.
so when people come to town, they find me and I show them around.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Are
nice,
those
man.
tours made specifically for the foreigners, or not really?
Well, yeah, I mean, for English speakers, because I only do them in English. And I think that I'm in a unique position because I understand the local history and culture pretty well, right? But I'm
Yes,
a native
you are,
speaker of English,
Yeah.
and can understand where they're coming from, try to understand, explain the context behind something. So now, actually, this year I started something called Almaty Guide School. So I'm training tour guides how to do similar things, how to be English-speaking tour guides.
Real impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, all
really
the
like
foreigners. Yeah. You won't get lost, okay? Find Dennis.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
your
on
guy.
Instagram.
Okay. Yeah.
Walking Almaty.
Because we're
Go
basically doing the same thing, right? We're doing this for the youth. We're doing this for the expats. We're doing this for the foreigners. Just like you're thinking about Kazakhstan,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
being afraid. What if I go there and they're like, no, nobody gets lost here, kidnapped,
Yeah.
It's good.
I think I love that you're doing it because, one thing that I think Kazakhstan suffers from, why, for example, Hollywood can get away with, having all these like very strange portrayals of the country, is that there's just kind of this information vacuum about the
Exactly.
country in English, right?
Yeah.
You search in Russian or Kazakh, you're going to find tons of stuff about
Exactly,
the
bro.
history, the culture, everything, but you search in English and it's really hard to
And
find
there's our
stuff.
podcast.
And there it is. So it's
you
very
can
clever.
find-
Good for you guys for doing that.
Yeah.
You can find a Rastana commercial also. like too, that's too much.
Sure.
First of all, like
Sure.
only official commercial videos from the government.
Yeah.
Like welcome to Kazakhstan and that type of stuff.
Yeah.
But here we tell you,
Yeah,
okay,
we'll tell you all
This
the
is the real
secrets.
deal.
this is the real deal, and
Yeah.
DM me for some extra information, like just
So Dennis, I got a question. Like,
nightlife activities and stuff.
yeah, I got a question. Like keeping on this topic on the tourism, is that would you agree with me on on a thing as that our spots, our touristic spots, like all of them are concentrated outside of the city, and then if you want to go somewhere in the city, there is like
The infrastructure is
it's
bad
what would you
Are we
think
talking
on
about
that?
getting around the city, or
outside of the
or
city.
or a lack of sights to see in
Yes,
the city?
a lack of sightseeing in the
In
city.
the city?
Well,
Yeah,
yeah, of course I'm going to push back because I mostly do tours in the city.
Oh,
And I have a partner, Gauhar, so we got something called Dostar trips where she then does tours to, Altona Mill, to Sharin, to Kolsai. Maybe that's what you have
Yeah.
in mind, right?
Yeah.
There's beautiful places outside
Yeah,
the
yeah.
city.
Yeah.
But man, Almaty has tons of things to see.
really?
I mean, we're a block away from the Green Bazaar. People eat that up. It's such a cool spot,
Yeah,
right?
man.
But, from a local's perspective, it's like, oh, it's just a market, right? But if you've never been to a bazaar in your life, right, and you're not familiar with Kazakh cuisine, then it's going to be this whole discovery.
Yeah, we talked about this with Stephanie about that cafe inside, also second floor.
Bowler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who would have thought, man? I would never open some like anything.
Really?
in
But it
that Green
smells
Bazaar.
bad there. Like it smells meat, raw meat if you go up.
I think it's above the vegetable section.
Yeah,
Really?
so I mean, shout out to my buddy Matthias who opened that place. He's a Dutch guy who's been here longer than I have, but I think it was very clever because he saw an amazing location.
Yeah,
You've
exactly.
been up there before?
You see, we don't see that thing,
Yeah.
bro. That's what foreigners do. They come, they see these weird things. Like then it's like shooting, the trees. Why do we paint them in white, man?
Well,
the
I know-
teachers told me that it's from the bugs and the ants and stuff.
Yeah.
Why do they hate white? Is that
Can I
Russian
tell you why?
propaganda? Like they all hate white people?
Crazy.
Can I tell you why? Because I actually did the research to
Okay,
figure out
tell
what was
me.
going
Go
on.
ahead, bro.
Because I mean, that was one of the first things I noticed here. Is like, what the hell is going on? Why are all the trees white, right? And I remember going up to people in the spring. You see everybody out painting the trees, and
Yeah.
I was like, "Excuse me, why are you painting the trees?" And they would say stuff like, "Oh, well, we haven't painted it since last year, so we have to paint it again." I'm like, "Yeah, but why?" And I found out that it's not just white paint; it's a chemical solution of
Yeah.
lime, and lime is a natural insecticide. So your teachers were right. It's supposed to protect the trees from pests.
Okay.
But here's
That
the thing.
that comes from the Soviet time, right? Like we
Yeah,
never
man.
used to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they started to use it back then, but here's the thing. Since then, they figured out that it doesn't work. You don't need to do it, right? In most parts of the world, nobody paints the trees. So the Almaty Akimat came out a few years ago and was like, we're not going to do it anymore. So they just stopped doing it.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
It's
some
just the
people
Western
still
move
do it.
we had,
Like
no.
they just don't give into details. Go into details.
Yeah.
I guess. Interesting. All right. And what about the foreigners coming here? Like, what was the best, like, top places that they usually are going here? If we're talking about
Yeah.
inside the
In
city.
the city?
Yeah.
It depends on what people are into. So, if you're a foodie, you're going to love the Green Bazaar. A lot of people are really into like Soviet history, Soviet architecture,
Modernism, all that.
modernism. So I have like a whole tour of Soviet mosaics and Soviet art that I do. People are really into that. Some people just like to get a feel for like everyday life. So we'll just go walk around Kampot, like just an average, Almaty neighborhood like that,
Wow.
and soak it in. But one thing I'll say is that pretty much everybody who comes on my tours is impressed by Almaty. That's something I love, is that everybody, it's like 100% satisfaction. And you can't say that about a lot of places,
Agreed. Like that's what
That's
most of my I remember I used to host a lot of Chinese business delegations. Like the same thing, man.
Yeah.
Just
Really?
2 days in Almaty, bro. They love Almaty, the food, the air, the atmosphere. They say, "Wow, you guys are so slow." Not in a bad way. I mean
Chill.
the city is chill, like and nobody's in rush. They love it. But I guess me and you, both of us, we don't know that much about Almaty. And also, I have a question.
Probably should take over your tour.
Did you get to learn? Did you get to know why do we hang the carpets on the wall? Have you been to Soviet like type of apartments?
Inside apartments.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant like hanging outside
No. Yeah,
on the
inside
wall
apartments.
outside to like beat them and get the dust out, right? That's
Yeah,
a whole
no,
thing, right?
Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah.
Well, I think it's kind of an aesthetic thing. People thought it looked classy, but the practical reason I've heard is that it's insulation, sound insulation, and just to warm up the apartments.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That was really weird, right? Did you do it? Did your family do it?
We did it. We used to did it. I mean, my grandparents. But
Why
not my
did
parents.
they never question? Like nobody questions. The Soviet people, they never question. They just do it.
Yeah.
But here's a theory. I mean, this is something they did throughout the Soviet Union, right? What if it caught on with the Kazakhs? Because Kazakhs have decorated the insides of their QZ, their yurts, right, for centuries with carpets.
Yeah.
Maybe they just thought, oh,
Who
cool.
knows? Yeah, it's a bit different type, but yeah,
It's all mixed, I guess, at the end, right? Like
Yeah,
cultures
I
mixed
love
and stuff.
our Kazakh yurts, man. They're like, it's warm in the winter and it's like cold during summer.
Yeah,
Like perfect. But it's too
exactly.
Yeah, because I think that's why we're nomads. Like we didn't build nothing stable. We just move around with yurts.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. So tell us about the foreigners here, because I mean, as I just told you about the things that they're impressed most,
Yeah.
right? Like the places, sightseeing, and so on. What's the thing they are impressed by, like a cultural thing? You know what I'm talking about? Like, well, we all know like eating horse is pretty much
Like, good or bad doesn't matter. Like
Yeah.
good or bad. Yeah.
good or
like,
bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the thing that they're most
Like,
impressed
oh my
about.
God, no! Like no way, right?
Or yes.
I mean, we can get into the yeses and nos because I mean, you see this when I take guests to the Green Bazaar, is that most guests are not that into the khumuz and the kurt, so like the sour dairy products
Yeah.
are kind of a shock for a lot of people, but almost everybody loves besh. What's not to love about besh,
Yeah, besh. My Nigerian friends loved besh.
Really?
Yeah, but he said he doesn't eat horse meat. But the moment the besh arrives, he just try one. Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah.
And then so that's food, right? But I don't know, in terms of just like broader cultural things, I think people just feel very welcomed here. There's just that kind of classic Kazakh spirit of hospitality, and people pick up on that vibe and they like it.
Yeah. I think the most for me, as I've been to a lot of places around, and then traveling around after Istanbul or after Paris or Netherlands, I don't know, Amsterdam, you come here and then you feel so relaxed, chilled. You know what I mean? It's like I really feel myself so relaxed here, because you don't rush and you don't see people rush. Like everyone is chilling. That's the best thing I appreciate about Almaty.
Yeah.
After traveling
Especially summer.
all around the world, coming here, just taking your time.
After
best.
Europe, bro, it's always this less homeless, right?
Yeah,
Much cleaner, much cheaper.
sure.
No violence. I don't know. And no politics, like you said.
That's what I like about our city the most.
But it's funny you say that, because actually just yesterday I was sitting for breakfast with some of my guests, and they asked me like straight up, are all Kazakhs chill? Because everybody who we meet seems to be like super just like patient and reserved and easygoing. And they're like, is that a part of Kazakh culture? And I was thinking about it, and it's like, yeah, to be like, like sabr,
Yeah.
like in Kazakh culture is kind of the highest compliment you can have,
Yeah.
right? To be just kind of patient and relaxed,
Yeah,
quiet.
but it's also a bad side of it, right?
There's a toxic side to it for sure, because well, my wife was talking about this, where she was saying a lot of women are told to be patient and calm when if there's abuse in the family, right? And the attitude is kind of like, just don't ruffle any feathers, right? Just pretend
You'll
everything's
go through,
cool.
You know what's-
oyalpalade.
Having
Exactly,
a
you know?
rough time.
What just came on my mind is that look, basically, since it's in our blood, right? Like we're chill kinda, but in this super developing capitalistic world, you're not tend to be chill, I guess. You gotta be super productive nowadays and stuff, because since the world is developing and we're like here in Almaty, like chill,
Well, I think that's why the most of our population is, they're having hard time with the, money making.
With finances and stuff. Exactly, that's what I'm talking about. Because I mean, once you were there in Istanbul, for example, people are super like they work all day. Like they don't have time to just though some parts of Turkey
They don't
maybe there
chill.
are, but I mean,
I don't like such cities like when
yeah,
everyone is in rush.
but it helps you to stay at least productive because everyone is doing something, and then you just can't lay on the bed. I mean, here in Almaty, you see everyone is in cafeterias and cafes
the world
drinking
is
coffee.
changing too fast.
World
and
is changing.
Only the younger generation, they're like very fast.
Exactly.
They get adapted to anything.
We need to do
new.
the same, I
Yeah.
guess.
I mean, there's hustlers here. There's a hustle culture.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a very big hustle culture. Yeah,
But that's, to me,
I'm
that's
a
just
member of the
about...
culture. Yeah, of that society.
But comparatively, bro, like it's not the same as in Europe. Like comparatively,
Of
people here
course.
are still so much relaxed.
But I wouldn't say that's something essential about Europeans or something essential about Kazakhs. It's about how many centuries of experience with capitalism have you had, So
Yeah,
if,
I
like
agree.
Turks have been traders along, the Silk Road for centuries, so they know how to move and shake, right? But here, capitalism has been here for 30 plus years, and people are adapting.
Less than that, maybe.
Yeah.
Bro, literally in 90s, Nazarbayev flew the whole team to New York to learn. You're gonna learn about the supermarket. You're gonna learn about banking. You're gonna learn about this, bro. This is in 90s,
Yeah.
like just like when you were born. So like you say it's kind of new. Of course, it's gonna be hard for us, but we're gonna go through this. Even remember there was people were angry when we switched from paying the bus driver to paying with the card. Instead, you should get a bus card and you pay with the card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That type of thing happened in Korea
Yeah.
20, 30 years ago.
A long time ago.
Yeah, and they had a riot, bro. It's like this South Korea. You see? Like it's normal.
Yeah.
So it's kind of new for us, I think. But yes, we are like kind of a bit lazier. I know that we are lazier because our school system is lazy. I'm looking at my daughter's. She's going to first grade this year, and they have too many resting days, bro. Like the weekends and half day off and this holidays. We have too many holidays in Kazakhstan, to be honest.
You think?
Yes, it is one of we have too many holidays. Trust me. Day of this, day of that, day of. A vice governor of one of the provinces in China, he visited and he was like, how are you guys going to make it? How is it going to be like successful? Why do you guys keep resting?
Exactly.
Yeah, we were in Almaty, we went to Shymkent, we tried to meet Shymkent's Akim. He's not at work.
Yeah.
He's not at work at 11 a.m., bro.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then he comes and then like the secretary goes like, you guys should come back in the afternoon. Okay, what time? После обеда, after the lunch. I was like, okay, so after lunch, 2. I was like, no, like 3:30. 3:30,
Yeah.
bro. He's not even at work at 11.
Sure. I mean, the same experience I
Man,
had
that's crazy.
in Japan, because in Japan, when you start working your day, it starts at least at 7:00, and then all cafes and coffee shops and everything is already opened at 6:00. So then, when you want to just grab a coffee for your day or grab a breakfast, you can take it. Here, most of the coffee shops they open at 10 or 9, which is like
Bro, we met for breakfast for the first time. Remember?
strange. Yeah. Do you remember?
Yeah, I was so angry. I was like, why would he fucking arrange a meeting with me for breakfast on Saturday morning? Like,
Because I got used to that.
I was
Yeah,
like,
right,
well,
yeah.
like, what is he trying to prove to me? Like, I can be there on time, no problem. I'm a very
It's called brunch, bro. It's a thing.
no brunch. That okay from brunch for me. It starts from like I don't know 10.
Yeah.
Right, 10, 11
yeah.
ish. That's brunch, bro. Not like 7 a.m. He's like, let's meet up at 7 a.m. Saturday morning. Like, why would you fucking meet me on Saturday in the morning, bro?
Bro, because no time, right?
Well, look, I think this is a positive thing to have holidays and to sleep in and to spend time with your family. Like, I think it shows Kazakhs' principles and their kind of values that they value, maybe they value that more than the hustle. And I think if you look at societies like Japan, which you mentioned, right, or the U.S., sometimes that hustle culture is toxic as hell. People get burnt out.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
That's
you're right.
true.
Sometimes I burn myself out for no reason, man. I get angry so much. I get angry a lot. at
Yeah.
lazy people.
And you're not
at,
even
at slow
in New
people.
York. You're
I'm
not.
not even in New York. Yeah, so I'm ready, to be there. But especially during the weekends, I hate people that. I hate when people they don't like they're so careless, bro. They don't think about like they might miss a call, you know. They might be expecting like some important call and put their phone on silent mode and just chill, smoke on the balcony. How, bro? Like how irresponsible can you be?
Yeah.
Or just switch off their phone to go to sleep. How can you do that,
I do
bro?
that.
Like my phone goes to sleeping mode, okay? But I have emergency contacts. So all my family members and my partners in
Yeah,
business, they can reach me 24/7 and my phone's gonna ring, even if I
Wow.
put it on a silent mode or it's sleeping mode, because I set it up that way.
That's cool.
And I get angry at those like other people.
Mm.
And some of those people are my family, like it's my wife and my mom. I never get like I don't understand. They don't even need a phone. Like why would you need a phone? Like it's
Yeah.
pointless to call them. I go to supermarket, I call my wife. I come back and say, listen, if I get hit by a car, all right, and doctor's trying to reach you or something like, oh, your husband is whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But you're there getting angry and they're getting sleep. So I
Exactly,
think they're the
bro.
ones who win in that one.
Yeah, man. Like I agree. Like so, and then the longer I stay here, I turn into a local, like the casual, lazy Kazakh.
Mm. That's why you can't stay.
Yeah,
Here
longer.
for-
I stay like 2 months and then I go somewhere. Come back
Mhm.
2 months, 3 months, go
So
somewhere.
you're just getting this energy, the productive energy out of other.
I was
country-
leaving
country.
today actually, because you said you wanted this weekend to shoot, but I was
Yeah.
gonna leave today, but there's
Wow.
no tickets for today, and I'm waiting. I might leave tomorrow.
Wow. Where are you going?
Milan,
Wow.
yeah,
Cool.
to Italy, to go a
Good
couple
luck.
of weeks and come back before the school starts.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's all about this, being there and here, and trying to
Yeah,
grab
man.
the energy out of other.
But you see, like foreigners like yourself, bro, like you guys getting the best out of Kazakhstan, and I sometimes really want to know what's inside of your head, because a lot of these expats come here, they tend to find like much fun, like more fun places to go.
Yeah.
They go to some bars that I've never heard of, and it's filled with foreigners.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not that foreigners have some kind of superpower. It's just that when you're in a new place, you look at it in a different way. When you're going to Milan, right, you're going to go to see some cool stuff that Milanese people aren't going and seeing, right? Just because when you come from the outside, you're just a little bit more curious
Yeah,
about
probably.
your surroundings.
Yeah.
Whereas when you grow up in a place, you kind of take things for granted.
Oh yeah, all my Turkish friends ask me. We went to Bodrum, Turkey last month. No, in June.
Mhm.
So, and then I went to these nice places, and all my Turkish friends start asking me, like, "Yo, where is this place?"
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and then I asked the guy on the beach, like, who rents this, the beds.
Mm.
Then I asked him, like, "Yo," and he asked me, like, "Where are you from?" Like, Kazakhstan. He was like, "You're the first Kazakh I'm seeing here."
Wow.
So we found a town that there are no Russian speakers go, bro. Like, I'm like, oh, this is a
That's
gem.
super
I'm like,
nice.
I'm not,
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
selling
Tell me where that
anyone.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of people ask me, the Russians, the Kazakhs, our friends, like, yo, where's this? Like, yo, I'm not selling you.
Yeah.
Y'all gonna ruin this shit.
Exactly.
Not for me.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Dennis, if I'm where you were, you're married and you have children, right?
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
many children?
So I got 2 kids.
Wow.
Got a boy who's 3.5 named Arman, and a baby girl who's 10 months old.
Wow, man.
Cool.
That's nice. So happy for you.
So how is it like?
is your wife
have-
Kazakh?
Yeah.
Kazakh.
Yeah.
Local Kazakh.
From Oralsk.
From Ural.
Yeah.
Kishuz.
Kishus.
All right.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. How is it like to be in the Kazakh family? Could you
Did you guys
share
go
some?
through the whole
interesting-
traditional thing?
Yeah,
the tashar and all that
we
stuff?
had the Kudalak and the Betashar and
How did your American family react?
Or
Were they
Kazakh
I think
family?
what they were expecting, right?
That's
Like,
because we
this-
already had a
this
guest
boy's
who
gonna, this
who's
boy's
married
gonna
to
end up
Kazakh.
getting married there, like for sure.
Yeah. No, I tried my best to kind of debrief them and manage their expectations and be like, you're going to get served a sheep head on a plate. Try to just smile and say thank you.
Yeah.
Right. No, they were very good sports about it.
All right, nice. That's
Um,
great.
yeah, we did the whole traditional wedding. And so, in fact, at that time, I was hosting a TV show on
Wow.
Kazakh TV. So, for 3 years, I had this show called Discovering Kazakhstan. And so we did a whole episode about my wedding.
Whoa.
Wow, man.
Impressive.
Can we find it on YouTube?
Yeah, just type in Dennis Kazakh wedding or something like that. Or
Cool. Definitely do
find
that.
it.
but that helped because the entire time that the wedding was going on, I had to be on camera being like, in this next tradition, my father is going to be served the sheep head on the plate. You know? And so they were like, listening,
That's
like,
your
oh,
own wedding?
shit, yeah.
That's a real block, right? Like,
Man, that's like
classic.
staying true to your,
You know why I
Your-
did it
your
though? It's
ward-
because we were looking for a cameraman or a videographer for the wedding, and I was like, wait, shit, I've got a film crew. They should just come and shoot our wedding. We'll do an episode about it. you know?
But that's impressive.
Yeah, that's very American of you, bro.
Yeah.
But we got a great wedding video out of it.
Yeah, of course, man. I mean, your
Yeah.
kid's gonna enjoy. Wow, that's nice. That's
Yeah.
like Arman. Does he have American name or that's like Arman?
We call him Army.
Army?
Yeah.
Arman Army.
Yeah.
And your baby girl,
She's Maya. Yeah.
Maya.
She turned out blonde, blue-eyed American girl.
Well, yeah, usually girls like their dads, and then they grow up to looking at they're gonna look like their moms later.
We'll see.
My boy looks like her mom. My daughter looks like me.
Yeah.
Not with the
Mm.
beard. I mean, like my prettier, like female version.
Shaved head. Shades on all the time, just like that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Daddy's girl.
Yeah.
No, but I got really lucky with my wife's family because, I've encountered plenty of other situations in Kazakhstan where I've met people who wouldn't be cool with their daughters marrying foreigners.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of
And
people.
There's
I mean,
plenty. I mean, for that video we did, for example, if you look at the YouTube comments, oh my God, like it gets pretty scary. People saying, why couldn't you marry a Kazakh guy? That kind of
Yeah.
stuff, right? So I knew that attitude was out there. So I got super lucky with her and her family because from the beginning they were super, super supportive.
Yeah,
I
nice.
think it helps that I speak Kazakh and I can talk to them.
Of course, I
and
mean, you
understand.
paid your respect. You did everything you could. It's not like you
course.
you don't know anything about us, and then you're trying to get somebody's daughter. Yeah, you did a great job, bro. And especially in the West, Kshizhs, they're like very patriotic.
Yeah, that's kind of their reputation.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It might be real. It might be
Yeah.
just stereotypes.
Mm.
And those girls are they've been marrying a lot of teachers from Africa.
Mm.
They've been getting a lot hella like hate comments on their Instagram.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think, bro, I really don't care, man. I think it's a good thing. Of course, you should try to find from your own people. But what if there's a guy like Dennis? I would definitely take it and go.
Take it and go.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the only thing that matters is just personal
Exactly, bro. Like you
compatibility.
don't choose to be born. I didn't choose to be born. Kazakh, right? You didn't. I
course.
know. Because we both hate Kazakhs. I'm just kidding, right? You're not gonna cut this over.
Self-loathing Kazakh is what they call it.
Yeah. No, because for us it's okay. I can say shit about Kazakhs because I'm a Kazakh. Because that's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
We can't be saying, "Oh, we're great, we're good." We should be, highlighting.
We should
this.
criticize.
Exactly.
we
If you want to grow,
criticize,
right? I hate the fact that most of our people they don't speak English, but it's growing. As they can look, they can see our president is speaking, he's showing off his skills here and there, little French, little Chinese there, speaking English, breaking all the rules and shit.
Yeah.
He's acting like a Trump, acting like, President Trump now, just speaking his mind out. I didn't know that he shouldn't be speaking in English when he's having an official meeting. He should be speaking in Kazakh.
According to diplomatic protocol.
Exactly. The protocol goes, so he should be speaking in Kazakh or Russian, and the
Wow.
translators should be speaking. But
Well,
our
no, who
guys,
cares, right?
yeah,
He's got to flex. He's got to show off a little bit.
yeah, he did his thing. He's like,
Yeah.
it's my place, my home.
Yeah, of course.
Well, so we have we've got a good amount of American diplomats here who speak Kazakh.
Yeah, bro. Like, I actually started following that embassy page recently.
Yeah.
Just recently. Yeah, they're doing good, bro. They actually doing a lot more than any other countries.
Sure.
Sometimes it's even scary.
Yeah.
Because it's smart for them to do it. So they provide Kazakh language training for diplomats who are coming here because they realize the Russians aren't going to do that. You're not going to get the Russian ambassador here speaking Kazakh.
Exactly, but they're
Sure.
doing the opposite, man. They're trying
That's
to,
really cool.
close Kazakh schools in the northern part. Yeah, we shouldn't be going. We shouldn't be discussing any political. Like, it's open, but you know.
Is it though? Apparently, there's some lines. We're getting too close.
Yeah,
It's
we
cool.
we can, you know, because
Yeah.
if we get
We are
started,
on
it's
YouTube.
gonna be hard to stop, and then you know.
Zhanga, Kazakhstan.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can have a free, open discussion.
I really hope.
About any.
I would love to believe it's Jetil Kazakhstan. Okay, because I keep finding out contents that.
I think, in my personal opinion, Jana, Kazakhstan, or New Kazakhstan, whatever, it starts with yourself first. Like the way you change your priority, the way you change your
You
vision
sound
towards
like a
Kazakhstan.
religious preach, bro.
No, really,
that's
like
that's
come on.
what no.
No, wait, let him finish the thought because I'm kind of curious.
No,
about what
it's
you mean.
it's just like getting rid of those stereotypes that we had in the past in this Yeski Kazakhstan or something, and then as if we trust in that, and as if we believe that something is changing, then we have to at least change something by ourselves, like at least starting this kind of podcast where we can talk about anything.
You want the whole
basically.
country to manifest that shit, right? Don't you? You just want everyone to like believe first.
Believe first
No,
and
but-
try to act on
How many
this.
programs do we had?
on
bro?
this
So
direction.
look, I think I kind of like what you're saying because I think that it's really powerful just to have some optimism,
Yeah.
right? Think about like Obama latched onto that and he was like, yes, we can, right? Hope. When you inspire people, you inspire them to do better. You can inspire
Sure.
the whole nation to do better. Because I just remember when I moved here and it was the end of the era of the last president, there was just so much kind of cynicism and pessimism and this feeling that like
Yeah.
we've been almost 30 years with this guy, nothing's changing, and I think people want to feel hopeful.
That's why I say I hope.
Yeah.
I really would like to believe that thing. Man.
Yeah, because I mean, everything has to start with ourselves, I guess. Because I mean, if we're gonna if we're gonna fear of something all the time, then nothing is gonna change, basically, right? So at least starting doing something, projects, and a lot of things actually changed, right? Before, like 10 years ago, you would have talked about this thing on YouTube probably because you would be scared of certain consequences.
Yeah, about presidents flexing. Yeah, that's kind of true.
But
yeah.
now it's pretty much open. You can talk, and I know a lot of bloggers on
As
YouTube,
long as you
on
finish the
Instagram.
line with our president is a tiger.
Yes. For example, do you?
Okay.
Do you know this TV reporter Ashat Niyazov, which is
Ashat
Yeah.
Niyazov
Yeah.
should get a Pulitzer Prize. I love the work that he does.
Yes, because I mean, for this kind of job, he would be already arrested 10 years ago, probably. But now what he does is just super impressive,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, you're right.
we're allowed to do all these things now, and to show that something is actually
There was
changing.
this guy who used to like keep shooting the traffic police, Гаишники.
Yeah,
He got
Filming them.
Yeah, he keeps filming them like while they're sleeping, or like all the Gaishniks all over Kazakhstan, they're scared of him.
But that's the way it should be, right? If they're public servants should
yeah.
be worried about what people think about them, right? That's kind of what democracy
Yeah, they
is
kind
all
of shut
about.
him down.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
They shut him down.
Yeah, they shut him down. He went to jail. He came out and like he started doing like totally something else. But he was just going after.
That's become a big thing in the States too. So I was just reading an article about these, that they're called police auditors. So they go around with cameras and just film the cops. But they're kind of annoying on one hand, but then they're trying to teach people that you have certain rights.
Yeah.
Right. Your First Amendment rights about freedom of speech, that you don't have to incriminate yourself to police officers, because American cops can abuse their power sometimes, and so can Kazakhstani cops too.
Yeah,
right? So,
sure.
But yeah, that idea, whether it's about Ashat or it's about these guys, it's about just bringing some accountability, right, to people in power. It's an important thing.
Bro, what do you think about we getting the Kazakh? I mean, we're changing our alphabet slowly, right? To use the Latin alphabet.
Yeah.
What do you think of this? Is it a good thing or bad thing?
No, I think it's a great idea. I think there's no logical reason why Kazakh should be written in Cyrillic, if you think about it that way, right? Cyrillic
agree.
was developed for Slavic languages, and there's no logical reason why
We
it
used
should
to
be that.
write in Latin before.
Used to write in Latin before in the 1930s.
Exactly.
My argument is more just a practical argument, which is that at this point, because of technology, QWERTY keyboards and telephones, practically the whole world can read and write Latin to some degree or another. And so it just makes the language more accessible.
Yeah.
You know, I think about when I teach Kazakh at UCLA, there's always like this first week where certain students have to catch up by learning Cyrillic. And if we did it in Latin, it would just be easier
Yeah, man.
for them.
They see it makes us closer.
Yeah, for sure.
The Western world.
Now, the frustrating thing is that they're now on version number 7 of the alphabet. They keep announcing different versions.
Sure.
And then someone says, oh, I don't like this apostrophes. I don't like this N.
They keep releasing.
Right.
Yeah.
And so what I'm worried about now is that people have kind of lost faith in the project. They've lost patience with it. It seems like the tiger isn't as enthusiastic about it as the last guy. And so I'm not sure, is it going to happen? Right. The more you drag it out, the more you lose momentum for the thing. Right.
Sure. Exactly.
Me too.
Do you remember how it was in the beginning? Like everyone has started changing their banners and stuff, and
Bro,
that
they've
was so
changed
enthusiastic in the beginning.
they've changed our GERB, right?
Yeah.
Already.
The seal,
sign.
the national
seal,
emblem.
the
Kazakhstan
coat
with the
of
keel.
whatever, in Latin now. So it's a done job. Like you have to change it all now.
Yeah, of
And
course.
I write the same comments every time they come up with a new version. I write the same comment. Just use the Turkish one. God damn it, man! It's ready.
Exactly.
They have all the sounds that we do
Yeah.
in Turkey.
Yeah.
Just use the Turkish one. They already have the keyboards in all of it, like all the phones and computers.
So why do you think they don't? Is it just a pride thing that, well, we should have our own alphabet?
Yeah, I think there's one dickhead like in the government just sitting there like, "Oh, I know, man.
We want to be
I want the
unique.
Kazakh version." Like, man, just that's why. So yeah, I also think it's a good
Politics
thing.
are
I
everywhere, right?
really, really think it's a good thing. And
But wait, can I ask you guys something then?
Yeah.
So like, it's one thing to think it's a good thing in theory, but are we using the alphabet? Because I know when I try to write in it, I feel super weird and goofy. And so, I mean, I write in Cyrillic. Do you guys ever write in Latin when you write Kazakh?
when this news came out, I used to write in the beginnings, and I found out like in the group chats, I don't want to curse. Okay, so some of them they couldn't read, like they just become slow in reading. Just write normally.
Oh, okay. Huh.
The reaction. And then I used to write in Latin before smartphones came out. Remember? Back in the day.
T9.
You have to. Not T9. The buttons you have to like.
Yeah.
Just to write "I love you," you have to like click so many times. So I used to write in Latin because there were no Russian there.
Yeah.
And then the Russian keyboard came out. So like we already got used to using Latin.
Right.
I don't think it's difficult, bro.
I don't think it's difficult as well.
Yeah,
Because
there's
I mean,
nothing hard about it. Just use the
we
Turkish
just need
one.
a proper alphabet for
All
first
these
of all,
Latin
like,
haters, bro.
To
When they
text
go to
properly.
Turkey, they start speaking Turkish in 2 days, bro.
Yeah.
They all become very, it's like, oh, it's the same like Kazakh. I can read it. It's written. Look at it. It's fucking written here. Just like saying, no, it's in Latin. And he goes back home, he's like, oh, why is it so hard? Like, I've never seen this bullshit before. Like, just write in normal Russian. So, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I think it's a good step towards the developing of our own
They have to.
language, I guess.
They have to.
So then at least we are like, well, a lot of foreigners who come here, for example, they get scared of the alphabet that we have, and they got really confused about what's Russian and what's Kazakh.
Yeah.
Right?
Also, I had I know what you're saying about like I have the Starbucks card, the virtual card, so you can get bonuses and free coffee. So I downloaded and I was registering. I accidentally click on Kazakh instead of Russian. So I'm like having like hard time figuring out the settings and all that bullshit. I was just I don't even know how to use it because I'm just stuck at the counter. And you cannot go back. There's no go. Like, what? You cannot change later? I was so angry. Like, why didn't you it's like just one choice you have. The moment you register, you just choose language and that's it. You have to.
You speak Kazakh, right?
Yeah, of course.
So then
But it's in Latin. The whole app is in Latin.
So that's what I mean. Is there's kind of a learning curve to get used to it. Right?
Yeah.
It is hard itself to read in Cyrillic Kazakh. especially if it's an official document,
Mm.
like from government places, right? It's like it's too confusing. I don't know what you're trying to tell me.
Exactly.
Just tell me you're not going to jail or you're going to jail, something like that. Like it's too hard. In Russian, it's like pretty clear.
Yeah, bureaucracy and stuff.
And my dad is a patriot. We bought a TV, like huge Samsung TV, and then I'm doing the settings, and then I'm going there to click on language, and he's just right there next to me, like, pick Kazakh. I was like, okay. We picked Kazakh, bro. Like we stuck there for 2 hours. We couldn't figure out shit. Like, what is this? Who the hell calls? Why would you translate LED, bro? Like, why would you translate such things? We didn't have those things. Don't translate. Don't translate balcony. Don't translate bananas. Don't translate all internet,
Yeah.
Do you know what's balcony in Kazakh?
Soltima.
Koltima.
Kotima.
Yeah. We didn't have balconies on the yurt, right? Don't translate that shit.
Yeah, but some people claim that's not an official translation. Some people just translate it just for sake of
A lot of
translation.
words don't need translation.
But
bro. A lot
I
of
think
words.
that those words, some of those words do catch on. Like, when you guys were growing up, like if you talked about like the grades in school, it was like klastar, yeah? And then they introduced this word sınıf.
Yep.
And apparently young kids just call it sınıf. They don't have any problem with calling it that. Yeah. So some of those new words can catch on.
Some of those,
Yeah.
no problem. Internet shouldn't be translated. Really, right? Because it sounds weird, bro. Internet sounds better in all the languages.
Right. Yeah.
Like also bananas. We didn't have those. Leave it, okay? The guy came with the banana. He said, "This is a banana. Don't fucking translate it. Don't call it sargis." What the fuck is sargis?
Wait, is this a thing? Is there a Kazakh word for banana?
It's a sargis.
That's. I think that's not an official translation though.
I heard about eggplant.
Isn't there eggplant? I was gonna say, let's not talk about the eggplant.
Yeah.
Yeah, eggplant is the bad one.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to, I don't want to.
All the people watching right now are like Googling Kazakh for eggplant. You'll figure it out, you guys.
Since it's in English, so it's not in Kazakh, my relatives probably wouldn't understand. So the eggplant in Kazakh is gonna go
We're just gonna beep that moment.
earth dick. Okay, earth
Guys.
penis.
Yeah.
But don't you just have to respect the creativity of it, right?
Yeah.
But here's the bigger thing is that once you start trying to be a purist about your language, like where do you stop, right? Does that mean we have to clean the Kazakh language of all the Arabic words, of all the Persian words? Are we just going to go back to speaking like Proto-Turkic, right? There's no such thing as a pure language anywhere in the
Yeah,
world.
it depends how deep you're
Exactly.
gonna go, right? Like,
Yeah.
so if we go that far, then that means like we don't have a language, bro.
Yeah.
Like it's just like Persian, Turkish, whatever, and then Arabic, Russian, Latin comes. Turkish is also like filled with.
Well,
different-
Turkish. I mean, if we're talking about Turkic family, then the origin is actually here, like Kazakhstan. The origins of Turkic languages, because our area basically was the.
Yeah, so I think they should try to make it easier, bro. Kazakhs don't speak Kazakh here. We're trying to make it better, right? We're trying to learn, and we here trying to teach them English.
So, your first guest, Alex, right? He was interested in going to these Kazakh language classes and studying that phenomenon of like most of the people who are going to these conversation classes are ethnic Kazakhs trying to learn Kazakh.
Sure.
And one thing that people always said in these courses is like, well, why doesn't the government provide Kazakh classes for the public? And I saw recently actually that, did you guys see that?
Yeah.
Maybe it's just in Almaty or somewhere, but that the government is going to offer that kind of thing. That's what's necessary. Because it's one thing to teach kids Kazakh in school. That's important. But then what about, our generation?
Sure.
People
Also
who missed
media
out on
content,
that,
some contents for kids.
Yeah.
All the quality, really good quality cartoons and all. You know it. You have kids.
Yeah.
It's in Russian
or
English. At least my kids, they watch in English. And you search for Kazakh cartoons. For some ugly ass cartoons comes out, man. Like this, it's scary. I don't want to show it. Like, okay, it's in Kazakh, but the way I don't know how. Like who finances them, bro? Like it looks very cheap, scary. The eyes don't move. They talk like this. Oh, this is my grandma.
And the funny thing too is like kids pick up on that stuff. So we try to teach my kids Kazakh. My wife just speaks to them Kazakh. I try to promote Kazakh content for them.
Yeah.
But as soon as I turn on one of those videos, my son's like, "Papa,"
Exactly.
No.
That's what my daughter do. She looks at me. I was like, why? Like now she even understands.
Why are
Yeah,
you
they just
torturing
listen.
me? I think
Yeah.
it's a matter of time that'll just evolve,
Yeah,
right?
sure.
Just think about like pop music, about film. So many other things in Kazakh culture have slowly kind of shifted.
A lot of
over to
things are
Kazakh
developing.
Yeah,
language,
we made
so,
it
yeah.
actually. We made it in the movies. Yeah, slowly we're there with the music. The Kazakh music is like the quality is 100 times better than 10 years ago. Like the radio stations are just 100% in Kazakh language. The whole music and it's
Yeah.
modern music. I like it. It's called BOFM. Listen to that. It's
Yeah,
all
I've
modern
heard of
Kazakh
it.
music.
Sure.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, yeah, you probably some like yo, whoever's watching the cartoon, bro. Come on, hurry up. My kids are grown already. I'm waiting for your cartoon.
I'm sitting here thinking maybe it's just because like so why are cartoons an outlier? Maybe it's just because there's like a pretty conservative approach to like terbiya in Kazakh culture to like you know how to raise a kid, and so that's what I find too is that they're all just like very like pedantic and dry and conservative. But then you watch American cartoons and they're super fun and entertaining, right?
Yeah.
But that's a little bit foreign to kind of like the Kazakh way of raising kids. So maybe
Our
it's just a matter
cartoons
of
are
time.
always about this butters. Okay, it's
Yeah,
always the old times.
Right,
It's
right.
always somewhere there, bro. Kids, they don't care about these horses anymore. I don't know, find someone like new heroes. I don't know, Beshman. I don't know, do something like like
And
something.
that would be good. I was just had an idea. It's
The guy
that
throws kaza at the
trying to adapt our butters to the anime, like that would be something new, I guess.
Wait, so guys, this is a thing. I saw a comic book at Melamon that's like a Kazakh language comic book. I don't remember if it was a batar, but like, I think it's only a matter of time with all these things
Yeah.
that as we have there's this whole generation of kids, right, like 20 and younger, who are just super cool, super
Yeah.
comfortable speaking Kazakh,
Yeah.
and it's just a matter of time for them to create the content.
Sure.
And
If you
I
walk
don't
around
think
Arbat nowadays, you'll find a lot of teenagers speaking in Kazakh and dressed in
yeah.
this modern,
Yeah.
this weird ass fashion. I don't understand those things, but they have this Kazakh ornaments on them. So a little bit of,
Yeah.
and they all speak in Kazakh, like they're skateboarding or whatever they're doing, dancing,
Yeah.
shooting TikTok videos. Makes me happy.
Yeah. Surely.
Also, the cartoon one, I just remember we talked about it earlier about the Netflix.
Mhm.
There was this cartoon about this. It's an American cartoon. Somehow, one of them, I think, a CIA agent. I might be wrong. Okay, something like that. Government work comes, and it's in Astana, in a bar. He comes up to a gay guy.
Mhm.
The CIA agent pretends to be a gay Kazakh, and they start speaking in Kazakh. It's an American cartoon, bro.
Mhm.
Again, Kazakhstan. Again, these things.
Huh?
Yeah, it's.
I watched that.
I'll try to. Yeah. It was like I think
That's cool.
just like last year or something. I was so surprised. Like, why would they do this?
Yeah.
I'm sure it triggered a lot of people.
Yeah.
But I think it's cool.
All right. That was a great talk, actually, Dennis, with you today. Thanks for joining us today. I think it was pretty interesting to talk
Yeah,
about.
we're gonna put all the information
everything.
just below Dennis. You can find him,
Yes.
follow him,
Walking
watch his
Almaty,
weddings.
his Instagram, his videos from marriage. We're all gonna post that. So, guys, that was our episode. That was a new episode of Jetil Podcast. Thank you for watching us. Thank you for supporting, watching our podcast here on YouTube. Subscribe
Follow
to
us,
our channel.
learn English. Okay,
Yeah, leave down your comments.
open your mind.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, thank you guys for
Thanks,
joining.
guys.
Yeah,
Thank you, Dennis, bro.
see you soon.
Good to have you here.
See you soon, guys.